I didn't change how I talk. I didn't become louder. I didn't become more confident. I didn't learn clever lines or social tricks. I changed one tiny social habit, and people started treating me completely differently. I used to think I was a good listener. I'd nod, I'd stay quiet, I wouldn't interrupt. But if I'm being honest, inside my head, I was just waiting for my turn to speak, waiting to tell my story, waiting to give advice. That's not listening. That's just being polite while reloading. Everything changed when I learned something called active listening. And no, it's not what most people think. Most people imagine active listening as staying silent while someone talks, just sitting there, saying nothing. That's not it. Real active listening is a set of very specific tools that can make someone feel more understood in 5 minutes than they felt in years. When I started using them, people opened up in ways they never had before. They trusted me more. Some told me I was the only person who really understood them. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what active listening actually is, why it works on a psychological level, and the 3 tools I use every single day. By the end, you'll have a skill most people never learn. And here's why this matters so much. Think about your last real conversation. Was the other person actually listening, or were they just waiting to talk about themselves? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't listen. They reload. They hear a few words, then their brain switches focus. They start preparing their own story, their own opinion, their own response. Meanwhile, the other person is still talking. This creates a massive problem. Everyone walks around feeling unheard. They talk, but nobody really gets them. Their thoughts disappear into a void. Their feelings never land anywhere. And the need to be understood is one of the most basic human needs we have. When that need isn't met, people feel frustrated, lonely, disconnected, even in the middle of conversations. But when you actually listen to someone, when you make them feel truly heard, everything changes. Back in the early 1900s, a psychologist named Carl Rogers discovered this by accident. He worked with children who were struggling emotionally. At first, he tried to help by giving advice and solutions, but then he noticed something strange. When he stopped trying to fix everything and instead listened in a very specific way, the children improved faster. They made better decisions on their own. Their confidence increased. Their mental health improved. Rogers realized something revolutionary. Listening itself was therapeutic. Not advice, not solutions. Just being heard in the right way. This led to what became known as person-centered therapy, built entirely around active listening. Rogers found that when people felt genuinely understood, they could solve their own problems better than anyone else could solve them for them. Today, this approach is used everywhere: therapy, education, leadership, relationships. But here's what most people never get taught. Active listening isn't a personality trait. It's not about being naturally empathetic. It's not a gift you're born with. It's a skill made up of learnable tools. Let me show you the first one. Tool number 1, paraphrase what you hear. This sounds simple, but it's powerful. After someone talks for a bit, you repeat back what you think they said using your own words. Keep it short, keep it natural. Here's an example. Your friend says, "I've been working so hard on this project, but my boss never notices. I feel invisible." Most people would jump in with advice. "You should talk to your boss. That happened to me once." Instead, you paraphrase. So you're putting in a lot of effort, but it feels like no one sees it. That's it. 2 things happen immediately. First, you check understanding in real time. If you misunderstood, they'll correct you. No confusion builds up. Second, they feel heard. Deeply heard, and that feeling makes people want to keep talking. Even Carl Rogers got paraphrases wrong sometimes. That's fine. Being corrected actually strengthens connection. The key is to sound human, not robotic, not like a therapist. Just reflect what they said in normal language. Tool number 2, show visible engagement. This is where most conversations quietly die. If you listen with no expression, no reaction, no feedback, people assume you don't care, even if you do. Think about the last time you shared something important and the other person just stared at you. How did that feel? Probably uncomfortable. maybe embarrassing. You probably stop sharing. That's what happens when engagement signals are missing. This is where minimal encouragers come in. Nod your head. Say yeah or at the right moments. Raise your eyebrows when something surprises you. Lean in slightly when something matters. These tiny signals say, I'm here, I'm with you, keep going. Without them, the other person feels exposed, like they're talking into empty space. I used to think this was fake. It's not. It's just communication. You're showing externally what's happening internally. Another powerful move here, pause before responding. Don't jump in the second they finish speaking. Take a brief moment. That silence signals thoughtfulness. It tells them you're actually processing what they said. Safety is what makes people open up. Engagement creates safety. Tool number 3, label their emotions. This is the most powerful tool and the hardest to use well. After someone talks for a while, you name the emotion you think they're feeling. You keep it simple, you keep it kind. That sounds really frustrating. You seem excited about this. That must have been disappointing. When you do this, 3 things happen. First, emotional connection deepens. They feel understood beyond just facts. Second, it helps them understand themselves. Many people don't fully realize what they're feeling until someone names it. Third, it brings relief. Being emotionally understood hits deeper than intellectual understanding. You might get it wrong sometimes. That's okay. They'll correct you. And even then, the attempt still matters. You're showing that you care about how they feel, not just what they say. Don't rush this step. Let them talk, build context, then label the emotion when it naturally fits. When I started using these tools, conversations completely changed. People told me things they'd never shared before. Real things, vulnerable things, things they've been holding in for years. But here's what surprised me most. Conversations became more interesting. When people feel safe, they stop performing, they stop filtering. They say real, honest, sometimes messy things. My relationships got stronger. People trusted me. They wanted my opinion because they knew I actually listened first. I became someone people felt comfortable around, not because I tried to be likable, but because I made them feel seen. And there's one final piece that makes all of this work. You actually have to care. You can use every technique perfectly, but if you don't genuinely want to understand the other person, it won't land. People can feel the difference. There's a famous idea. You can make more connections by being interested in others than by trying to make others interested in you. That's the foundation of active listening. It's not manipulation, it's curiosity. Everyone has something interesting about them, a perspective, a story, a skill. Most people never share it because nobody listens long enough. When you approach conversations with real curiosity, these tools become natural. You paraphrase because you want to understand. You show engagement because you're engaged. You label emotions because you care how they feel. That's what Carl Rogers discovered. When people feel safe, seen, and understood, they open up, they grow, they heal. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you genuinely listen to others, your own life gets better too. You stop trying to impress. You stop needing to prove yourself. You realize how fascinating people are. You become someone others want to be around. Not the loudest, not the funniest, but the one who actually listens. That's real charisma. That's real connection. Start with one tool in your next conversation. Notice what changes. Add another. Practice. Active listening is a skill. And once it becomes who you are, you'll notice something quietly powerful. People treat you differently because you're the one who actually hears them.